Hello and welcome, it's Pete here again, and today there's no dies, no embossing folders, no machines. It's all about hot glue. Now, you may have a hot glue gun. I want to talk about the Sizzix hot glue gun because it does have some very special properties which allow you to use it not just for sticking two bits of wood together, but to do some really creative stuff. And everything you see here has all been made using the hot glue gun. These lovely jars, for example, these magic wands, and that's what we're going to take you through in a little while. So sit back and enjoy, because these are so special. I really enjoy doing it. And with Halloween coming up, it's a perfect opportunity to deck your child or grandchild or niece or nephew out with their own bespoke magic wand. So before we take a look at the glue gun, I want to talk to you about the glue gun accessory kit, because it's really useful to use your glue gun in a creative manner. Now let's roll this out. This is a heat resistant mat, and obviously if you're working on a surface like a table or a countertop, it is absolutely essential, if you're pouring glue on something, that you have this between that and your surface. We also have these fingertip protectors, but not only do they protect your fingers against the hot glue, but you can use these to manipulate the glue and get some really creative effects. And this tool is a kind of a mini spatula. So again, to manipulate that hot glue, particularly with the magic wands, it is an essential piece of kit. Now, also, alongside that, we have our wonderful glue gun stand. The great thing about this, one of the things about hot glue guns is they always have this little stand, but they rarely stand up, and that's because of this lead that is attached to them. It's a bit heavy for the glue gun itself. But with this, it's kind of universal, because you can have it at any angle you want, you can adjust it. It has a silicone mat, so if there are any drips from the hot glue gun, for example, let's actually pop that in place like so. So there you go, and you've got these channels on the side where you can keep your spare glue sticks, and we're going to be going through quite a few of these today. So I'll just take that off to one side and talk to you about the glue gun itself. Now, it has an on-off switch, which is quite handy, and an indicator light so that you know that it's on. It has a precision nozzle. Now, the precision nozzle is very important, because if you want to draw or write or create shapes with this, as we saw on these lovely little cards, so the butterfly, the flower, and this kind of funky pattern were all done with hot glue, which was then lifted away from this mat and sprayed with metallic paint. So you really can get into the fine detail with this. But the thing that really sets it apart from other hot glue guns is it runs hotter than a standard craft glue gun. What that means is that you can pump this handle and get a constant stream of glue, which is very useful for what we're about to show you. And it does have a lovely long handle, so you can pull that slowly to get a stream, or you can really pump it out. A lot of the glue guns have a little stubby handle, and don't get me wrong, they're great for applying glue to things, but they don't have the properties that these have. Now, I'm just going to put this onto the stand out of the way for 1 second, and we're going to talk about these magic wands, because if, like my kids, you're entranced with the wizarding world of, well, we know the boy wizard and his friends, this glue pot, that all the drips on the side were made using the hot glue gun. And these are just a few of the magic wands which we've created, and you can see they're all different, they're all bespoke, they're all special. And I said obviously earlier, Halloween coming up. If you're watching this after Halloween, it's probably a bit weird, because it's not, well, it is coming up, it's just a bit longer away. But you know, it works all year round. But I have noticed at Halloween, when the kids come around, more and more of them are dressed up in those fantastic costumes. And if you get them one of those resin ones that you can buy, they're about upwards, about 20 quid. If you drop those on the floor, they shatter. These, well, it's just sticks. This is actually a chopstick, but these are sticks that were found on a walk behind my house. Not only that, how about pencils? These actually started off as pencils to which we apply the hot glue. And you can write with them as well. So that's a funky little gift idea. If you make to sell, what a great little business idea for your local craft store. And kids of all generations will love these. I know my son, I took him to buy the books at midnight when they were coming out. My daughter, who's a lot younger, she got into it. My nephew is 6. He's starting to really get into the whole wizard and witch thing. So it really is all year round. So let's put these to one side for a second. And let's show you how to get from A to B to create these wonderful, wonderful ones. Now, these are sticks of different shapes and sizes. Some of them are twisted and funky. Some of them have all these kind of organic knobbly bits on. Some of them are fairly straight, you know. I mean, just when you go out on a walk, if you have a dog, go walking the dog and pop some of these sticks in a backpack. Before you know it, you'll have dozens and dozens of the things. And we're going to take one of these sticks. I'm going to take this long, straight one. Now, this is where the glue gun comes into its own, because I'm going to have a glue stick ready, and there's my stand there. I'm also going to have a glass of water close by, and you will see why shortly, because I'm going to start applying the glue to the stick. Actually, first I'm going to apply my glasses to my head, otherwise I won't see what I'm doing. Now you can see I'm pumping this out and I'm keeping the stick turning. I want to build up the glue on the outside of that. So there you go. I can let it drop down like that, and I can pop it in the water. That's what it's for. It helps it set. Now, I'll put another glue stick in there, and I'll just keep it coming through. Now, you see, with a lot of hot glue guns, because they don't run as hot as this, you have to stop at some point to let the heating element heat up again, to bring it back to heat. But with this one, you can just keep it coming through. So let's, again, we'll pop that in water. Now, there's many different techniques that you can use with these lovely ones. I'm going to show you a couple. We're going to paint them up. I'm going to show you how to do the dry brush. And I know that it works because I've actually done a workshop on these. We had a lot of people there. They made the very first one. And you know what? Theirs didn't turn out dramatically different from mine. And with a bit of practice, there's no reason why you can't do things like the ones I showed you earlier. So I'm building up lots of glue on the top of there. And I'm going to let that, so I'm turning it, I'm keeping it turning, and I'm going to cool that just slightly in the water. Right, now, remember those fingertip protectors? I'm actually going to use one of these. And I'm going to take this glue, and I'm going to bring it kind of in a spiral. So I'm dragging it around the stick like that. So I'm getting a lovely twist. And you'll notice I'm not turning, my finger is static. I'm actually turning the stick to get that effect. And I'll just bring this down. So what we're getting is a lovely kind of organic feel to this one. So we'll bring that around, and then all you have to do is come in with glue again and keep covering that up. But look at how organic and cool that looks already. So we'll pump in a little bit more hot glue down there. We'll keep it going. We'll build it up. And you can get some stunning, stunning results. And the great thing is, everyone's different. Everyone is different from the last. So if you were making to sell, for example, people would truly have their own unique, bespoke magic wand. So that is starting to look really cool. So we'll just fill some of this in here. I'm keeping it turning, keeping it turning. I'll reach into my glue gun stand. I'll pop another glue stick in there, And I'll just keep going, and I'll just keep pumping this out. Now, there is another. So with this one, we've really sort of brought all the glue around, and I'm bringing it down the shaft of the wand like so. Now that's really cool. Another thing you could do is you could add like this. You can just dribble the glue, and you can go back and forth, back and forth. And this gives, it almost looks like, you know, on a tree where you get creepers going up the tree. That's the sort of look that we're going for. So we're combining the two here. And then when you have it to a certain point, dip it in the water and start again. Now, this is just very basic. It's starting to look super organic. I'm going to finish this one off later, because what I've done is I've got some which I prepared earlier. So we got one with the lovely twists in, and I've added extra layers of glue, and one looking quite organic. I know these kind of look like black chunks at the moment, but when I start doing the dry brushing, that is when they will really come to the fore. So I'm going to put my glue gun to one side just for a second, and I'm going to bring in some paints. But I'll take this mat. You can use this mat for the painting, but just for the purposes of filming, I'm going to bring in my Sizzix media mat. So let's take some acrylics, and these are matte acrylics, and we'll start off with a brown, and this one is quite a rich red. This is burnt sienna, and then because we're going with that lovely reddish brown, I'm also going to bring in some ochre. Now these are classic sort of paint colors. This is called true ochre. And then finally I'm coming in with some, this is called light buttermilk, and it's a lovely rich cream. So we're just popping that there. Now, obviously, we need to dry brush. Now, dry brushing is where you apply, you apply a little at a time, and you're just kissing this wand. You're not getting in deep with it. So I'm going to bring, this is my sienna, named after the soil in Italy. And I'm just going to go back and forth like that. And this is the great thing about these, because you probably looked at those ones, and like a lot of people, when we've done these in the past, they've seen the ones and think, wow, they look stunning. But then when they see how easy it is to achieve exactly the same results as I did, they're so keen to have a go. So don't be put off. Don't be put off when you see something. Try and find out how it was created, what techniques the maker used to get there, and you'll usually find that it's fairly straightforward. So I'm coming down, and all these, this one is a really organic branch, those lovely nodules in there. And the great thing, these are matte acrylics, and the matte acrylics are very, very quick drying. So that's starting to pick out the detail. Of course, I've left some of the underpainting, because I painted these black with a black, well, it's almost like a chalkboard paint, if I'm completely honest. So again, very quick drying. Now, let's move into the true ochre. So this is a slightly lighter color. So I'm going to work slightly lighter, because I'm just picking out some of those highlights there. Just some of that detail, but I do want the reddish brown coming through as well. But you really start to see this coming to life. Let's just take my water out of the way. And you'll notice that I'm mixing it in with the red, so we get a lovely seamless blend of colours. And then finally, it's my light buttermilk. So this is my creamy colour, but I don't want much on the brush, because see that? Wow. This is the one that really, really brings that detail to the fore. So again, light application, very little paint on the brush. But you're getting that lovely, the red and the yellow coming through underneath. So we keep coming down the stick like this, almost to the end. And there, suddenly it's looking organic. But see what we've done with the hot glue gun. They're just randomly weaving in and out, overlapping to get that fabulous, fabulous effect. So there's one, number one. Now, for the second of my two wands, I'm not even going to wash that up actually. I'm going to bring in two more colors. This is a lovely deep teal. It's called Mermaid's Tail. And this is Aqua Sky. So this is a pale sort of aqua blue. There we are. Let's give that a shake and do that again, shall we? Okay, and I'm also going to use the buttermilk. So I'm going to use the buttermilk to bring out the highlights on there. And I'll just wash up my brush to take most of that out. And I'm going to come in with the Mermaid's Tail. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? There we are. Now, this time I start off, as we did before, a little heavier, because I want to get about 70% coverage, but I still want that black to be coming through. And you know, if you want to do this in pinks, if you want to do it in reds, in oranges, whatever you want, you know, you can even apply, say, spray adhesive to this and pop some glitter over the top and then seal it afterwards. You know, there's so many different techniques and different products you can use to get the best out of this. So that's my teal. Next, I'm coming in with my Aqua Sky, which is my lighter blue. And then this time coming in a little bit lighter over the top there. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that really hit home. So we're just picking out the detail, leaving that little bit of black in between, coming down the length of the wand, like so. And then, so this dries really quickly. If you want to speed it up slightly, then you can get your Sizzix heat tool out on a low setting. And finally, see how I'm mixing now with some of that blue. So we get that lovely buttermilk to pick up the detail. Make sure you haven't got too much on the brush, and then just very light again, just picking up the highlights, leaving the underpainting. There we are. Letting that teal come through, letting the black underneath, in between the cracks on the wood. And, you know, it's a technique that anybody can do. There's no real skill involved. Maybe just a little bit of practice. But that's it. That's it. There we are. And this is something that you can do with your kids. I mean, obviously, the glue gun, it is a hot glue gun, so I would be very careful, obviously, with younger ones before I let them anywhere near that. But this part, they can definitely do themselves. And you know what? If it doesn't work out as you expected, simply paint it black and start again with another color. But there we are. I'll pop the brush in the paint. We'll take this away to fight another day. And there are your two magic wands, which sit beautifully alongside some of the ones that we did earlier. Oh, and this one incidentally even has a crystal in it. This is a crystal which I bought from a shop in mid-Wales, I think. But yeah, you can attach that with the glue. You know, there's all sorts of things. You can bring beads. This was some lovely beads that I stuck in the top of that one and just dry brushed. This one has a little loop in the top. That had a feather attached to it, which has since gone missing. But you can see with this one, we've used gilding wax on this as well. So you can pick up some of that detail with gilding wax if you want to get a more metallic look. So there we have it, the hot glue gun. Now it's not just, obviously we've seen the wands. The wands are fantastic, but look at this wonderful background. This was created, again, using hot glue and dry brushing. This lovely frame that the same. So you can frame the art, you can go really thin, really thick, really gloopy. You can even use your hot glue gun spreader to spread some of this out to get a more organic kind of look. So it's a very, very creative tool. Honey, H-U-N-N-Y. We know who spells honey like that, don't we? But there you go. Just take an old earthenware pot. This was bought from a charity shop, I think. And then we use the dry brushing effect as before. So lots of creative possibilities with this hot glue gun. It's not just about sticking two bits of wood together. And it's because of the unique properties of the Sizzix glue gun that you can do this. So why not treat your child, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter this Halloween to their own personal magic wand.